G'day everybody, welcome back to my little channel here. Today we are out here at beautiful sunny Mundaring disc golf course, and what we're going to do today is we're going to play a round pretty much with just the prototype discs or new discs to the lineup. As Team DD members, we do get early access to some of the new first run and prototype discs, and essentially I have thrown none of them so far except for one, and so it should be an interesting little day. We're going to play the Mundilorian layout today, which is a combination of some gold level holes, some blue and some white, so it's a bit of a mixture of everything today. And I thought I'd bring out the old H2O Ranger today with us to house the discs, and so this is what we're playing with today. So long distance driver is the Latitude 64 Rive. This is the only one that I have thrown so far, and essentially it is a really good overstable long distance driver. I use it a lot for forehands. It's a little bit much for me on the backhand, but as a forehand disc I find this to be really reliable and really useful out there in the course. So I've actually had one of these in my bag. I've had a prototype in my bag for quite some time, so there'll be no surprises I think with the Rive today. Second up, I've got the Grace 11 speed driver, a little bit of turn I believe, so it's going to be an S curve, maybe a little bit of distance out of this. I'm looking forward to throwing this and seeing how it flies. All of these discs that I'm showing you from the new Latitude Royal line are in the Grand plastic. Beautiful feeling discs, lovely smooth edges, high quality finish on them, a little bit of grip to them as well, so I find these things to be really enjoyable to throw. So that's the Grace. What else do I have in here? The next in the Royal line discs is the 5-speed Trust mid-range, 5502 I think the numbers are, so very similar to an EMAC Truth, and from what I've been told, maybe a little bit more overstable than an EMAC Truth. So we're going to test that out today. I'm very interested to see if that is actually the case. Right, what else do we have in here? Yes, okay. So we've got the Evader 7-speed, slightly overstable fairway driver. This one I'm looking forward to trying out as well. It may fill a gap in my bag. So we've got the DD Evader here, and then we're moving into some of the putters. So the Royal line Faith, apparently a little bit more overstable than a Shield from what I've been told from Eric. He uses them, Eric Oakley, he uses them for a throwing putter, so he gets a little bit of sustained finish on them. So that's the Faith, and I've got the famous EMAC Judge as well. So again, looking forward to having to throw with these. EMAC Judge is a Judge with a slightly less prominent bead, so it's got more of a micro bead sort of feel to it, which is very interesting to me because I putt with Shields, as people know, and they do have that micro bead feel to them as well. So from that perspective, I'm looking forward to seeing how these things fly and how they feel in the hand. Certainly it's a very familiar, comfortable sort of feel for me, so let's see how the EMAC Judge goes today. Anything else in here? Let me just check. Alright, so while I've thrown plenty of Felons in my time, I've got a Lucidex Glimmer Felon here, the new V1 2021 version of the Lucidex Felon. Beautiful aqua color, which has got, I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera, but it does have a little bit of a purple sort of tinge to it, chameleon sort of look to it as well. So this is supposed to be super overstable. I'm looking forward to seeing if these are exactly what I'm looking for as far as that real overstable skippy kind of disc, because I've got a fusion felon at the moment, which I don't feel is overstable enough when I really need it to hook hard. So I'm looking forward to seeing if the version 1 2021 Lucidex Glimmer Felon does the job for me. So that's my lineup for today. You might say to me, well, gee, using the H2O Ranger bag today is probably a little bit of overkill. There looks to be a lot of space left for only 7 discs, but yeah, let's see if I can use the space a little bit more effectively today. Oh, by the way, keep watching this video, take in as many clues as you possibly can. I'm going to do a bit of a giveaway involving some of the discs, these new discs in my bag. So watch carefully. Right at the end of my 18 holes, I'm going to ask you a question, and those people who answer that question correctly will go into a draw to win some of these discs. I'll give you more information about that later. Just watch on and look for the time being and see what you notice about the video. So we're here at hole 1 at Mundaring. We're on the gold tee here. It's a 225 metre par 4, straight down and into the trees right at the end of the fairway here. So first up, I'm going to try throwing the Grace here. Little bit of a tailwind that I can sort of feel. Maybe a little bit right to left as well. So I've got to try and make sure I get this down at the level of the hill and a little bit out to the right, because it is going to finish a fairway left. First throw with the Grace here. Not really sure what's going to happen with it. Let's see. Wow, big skip finish out to the left. It did turn over a little bit. Certainly has a fair bit of finish on it. It is a brand new disc, so we'll see how that beats in across the course of the rest of the round today. Alright, so we found ourselves out on the left-hand side here, off the fairway. Often this plays is out of bounds in tournaments and things like that, so it certainly finished pretty hard. I am a little way short. The good news is if there is no OB being played out here, I can throw a sidearm down looking for the skip in. For that, that's a job for the Rive, I think. So let's see how this one plays out. Again, it's brand new, so I think it will finish hard. It's a less hard finish than I thought it was going to finish. It's down there though. I've probably got to look for a 3. Alright, so we've got just a little window that we can work through here to go for the birdie. If the faith is advertised as it should be, with that little bit of fade at the end, I'm hoping to be able to throw one out and have it fade late and fall in the basket. I'm not sure what our chances are, but let's have a try. So close. EMAC Judge, I'll take the 4. Alright, so we're here on hole 2 on the Mundilorian layout. That is the blue, and you may have seen the blue from previous videos that I've done with me playing the solo round on the blue course. So 2 channels to throw down. There is a backhand line straight ahead of us, straight at the basket. There is also a slightly wider forehand line on the left hand side here. That's the one I go for. We're looking about 90 metres. It is just very slightly uphill, so it plays fairly long. I'll be going with the rive as I do when I am throwing this hole normally. So this shouldn't be anything different to our normal sort of setup. Stayed a little bit sort of left on that throw. I've let it go on a little bit of Anheuser as I normally do. Again, it's given me a long look at a birdie 2. Let's have a look. Long look for 2 here, probably just outside the circle. I'm hoping for something reasonably straight. So I'm looking for the EMAC judge to head straight at that basket for me over the slightly longer distance. Bad. This is the white tee, about 70 metres, ever so slightly uphill, pretty straight. It's basically a hyzer. I try and throw one fairly low, try and get a bit of a skip and put it up somewhere near the basket. I've been going past it lately, so I'm very interested to see if the evader is the right hole, the right disc for this hole, because I've just been out throwing it a little bit with other discs, so it may be time for this to come into the fore. So I'm hoping to see that it does. Just may very well find a way into my bag if it does. Let's have a look. That's pretty much what I'm looking for. Alright, pretty much parked, so let's go for the all DD birdie here. That is pretty good, pretty happy with that. So that's around about the exact right distance and the right shape of shot. That should get me a birdie just about every time on this hole. Beautiful, 2 under after 3. On hole 4, this is the blue tee once again. So again, you've seen this one. 2 tight sort of tunnels going down the left and the right of this hole. So you can throw a sidearm down the left, or if you're a lefty, a hyzer, or you can throw the slightly larger channel down the right. Normally I throw Lucid X Maverick on this hole because it does tend to hold that nice sort of straight throw. I'm going to go with the Evader again here. I know it's probably going to hyzer a little bit more, but I know it's also around about the right distance because it is a very similar distance and probably a very similar elevation carry to the hole we've just played. So I know this is about the right distance. It's just a matter of whether I can get it online and whether I can keep it in that channel, because it does have a little bit of extra fade on it. That's probably exactly the right line for the Lucid X Felon. You just get that a little bit flattening out and turning over, but it's not the right line for the Evader. I needed to be just a little bit right of that. It certainly did start fighting back to the left. All right, let's see if we can try and clean up for the par here. All right, one thing you don't want to do here is hit something pretty early. That I have done. So I've just got a tricky little upshot now to the basket to try and save my par. Luckily I am in the fairway, I'm not off in compromise behind trees. We'll see if we can push up the faith through that gap and have it fade late at the end. Maybe put a little, tiny little bit of Anheuser on it to help it carry a little bit further as well. That is not a good
finish there. I'm going to be struggling. Alright, it's a long putt for the par save here. Again, we'll try this EMAC Judge, try and keep it straight, throw it straight at that basket. Hope it carries nice and straight towards it. Oh! Nice and accurate, just a little bit short of the target. I have to settle for the bogey here. Hole 5 is the blue tee once again. You guys have seen this hole. I normally try and play the forehand line, try and turn one through the trees and bring it back out the other side. There's also another line, if you can get a bit of a slight turnover with the backhand and put it through the gap out there as well. I'm going to see how the grace goes here on that forehand line, see if it will turn a little bit. I know it's going to give me a reasonably good fade, so I just need to try and get a little bit of turn on this one if I possibly can. See how we go with this one today. Kicked off left at the end. Hopefully I'll have something pretty easy to get up and down with though. Alright, so as predicted, even though I did get a sort of pretty ordinary sort of kick off to the left, I've been left with a pretty open up shot. So this should be pretty straightforward to get up and down from my par from here. Go with the faith. Because I got to have faith. Here. Move on to 6. Right, we're on hole 6. This is the gold hole, famously eagled by Ricky Wysocki in the 2017 Aussie Open with a massive backhand roller, and a pretty decent sort of size putt as well. I often will go forehand roller on here with my Justice. I don't have anything that I'm really confident that I can actually forehand roll. I'm not sure even the Rive will roll fantastically well for me. So again, I'm going to give the Grace a bit of a try out on the forehand, see if I can get a little bit of turn, a little bit of distance on it, and then we'll work out then from where we are as to where we play to next. Not bad, some reasonably nice little S curve to that. It held up and fought back reasonably well. Not unhappy with that. Certainly not as far as a roller would go, but pretty solid drive out there anyway. Alright, so I've left myself reasonably long second shot, which is not unusual for me. If I've got a decent roller, I'm up near the green, and I've got a slightly more realistic sort of approach to the green. Again, with the tailwind, I probably need to go slightly under speed. I think the Rive will be too much in the tailwind. So I'm going to play the Grace again. I didn't bring a marker with me today, so I'll just use the EMAC Judge as a marker and see if I can get this at least up there for an easy up and down. If not, maybe a sneaky look at it too. Tree right at the end there, otherwise it would have been back into the fairway. Alright, looks like I'm playing for my 4. Alright, well this was a little culprit that stopped my movement forward and back onto the fairway here. Just left with a little slight left to right. We'll try the EMAC Judge on a little bit of an ante. Just try and bring that back around towards the basket. Maybe we'll give it a little half go. Not really much of a go, but an easy four. Also about the EMAC Judge is it does hold a line really nicely and stick to that line. That stayed on that Anheuser line really nicely. Putting any longer distances and things like that, it's holding that line pretty well, which is exactly as it's advertised by EMAC. It's pretty straight. We're on hole 7 of the blue course, 120 metre par 4, pretty much straight down the line here. What you want to try and do is, I guess, land your first shot somewhere where you've got to look at a decent sort of second upshot for your birdie. Because of that, I'm going to try the evader here and just try and sort of get it out and try and throw it as straight as I can, hope for somewhat of a straight finish with this. I'm not too sure how we'll go, but we're looking just for a reasonably sort of straight shot down the middle. See what happens. That's straight out of bounds. Not out of bounds, but really difficult second shot now. All right. Alright, yeah, so the evader does go pretty straight, as advertised. You just actually have to put it on the actual line that you're supposed to throw it on. The good news is I came up short of the Mando, and that's perhaps because it was a 7-speed instead of a 9 or 11 or 12 or something like that, and I'd definitely be going past the flags there. So my shot at position did not work, but I can say that the evader went pretty darn straight. I've got really nothing left here. I've got to go around this Mando tree. I'm just going to try and skip the most fastest speed, overstable, widest rim I've got here. Try and get something around the corner and see what I'm left with. Alright, I've got it up there. Let's see if I've got anything decent as a birdie look. So I have got another little outside look at a birdie here. Reasonably good sort of skip. Got myself down towards the basket, circle 2 maybe, edge of circle 2. We'll go the EMAC Judge again. We'll try and get that little Anheuser on it. See if we can float it in. Well, certainly holds that line nicely. If the operator was a little bit better, might have had a birdie.
Wait, that's not one of the protos.
Oh, this is one of the new BT Hard shields. You didn't think I was going to not play around with a shield somewhere on the line, did you? Okay, so hole 8, quick score update. 1 down after 7. We're at the double Mando hole here on the blue course. 71 metres, straight across the fairway. Got to hit the gap between the two Mando trees down there. Sometimes I throw a putter here, but there is a left to right wind blowing across, and I find putters tend to drift and stay right. So we're going to have a go at using the trust and see if we can just get it out there, let it fight back a little bit against that sort of left to right wind. little low, but certainly on the right line. So we'll have a long look at that birdie. A long look at the birdie here again. EMAC Judge will try and get one nice and straight from outside the circle. Try and get it straight at that basket. Straight. Again, operator error. Out to hole 9 here, still one under the card. This is an 80 metre downhill par 3. It plays a similar sort of distance to the third hole. This is a white hole here. Plays very similar to white 3, except white 3 is slightly uphill, this one is downhill. That being said, there's actually a little bit of rain seemingly starting to come in, and quite a bit of breeze. So into this headwind, I'm going to test out the Lucid X Glimmer Felon and see how overstable this thing is into the wind. So I'm going to put it out a fair way, I think, because I think it's still going to fight its way back. Wow! Wow! That is overstable. I probably should put that on any hyzer whatsoever. That has gone way left. Wow. All right, well short, well left. Very overstable disc. In a little bit of strife here, I'm going to just try and hammer one out of here and see if I can get it somewhere up close to the basket to give myself a look at the 3. Certainly the 2 is out the window here. Not bad. Just to prove that this isn't that overstable, I'm going to putt with this. And no problems. You see, that's not overstable at all. Alright, so that brings this 9 holes to a close. We're one under after the 9. I hope you're watching reasonably carefully, because what I want you to do from this video, I want you to count up the number of individual Team DD logos, like this one here on my back. Only those ones. I don't want Team Dynamic or anything like that. I don't want the DD logo. I want specifically how many Team DD logos did you see all the way through this video? Individual ones. How many of them did you see? Right through from the start of the video. I'm going to gauge the responses. Those correct responses, I'll be sending out this very same faith to somebody who correctly guesses the right number of Team DD logos. So if you weren't paying attention, go back, have another look. How many times did the Team DD logo appear on this video? So each individual one, you may have seen that same one a few times in the same part of my shirt maybe, but how many individual ones have you seen on the video? Tune in for holes 10 to 18 coming up very shortly, and we might have another giveaway on that video as well. See you then.